Happy New Year's Eve. 2023 is done and dusted. We've had a lot of games this year, and we're going to go through them all. Well, not every single game, but month by month. Today, we are joined by Paul from RWA Productions. Welcome along, Paul.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, buddy. Happy New Year. We'll talk about your trip to Rotherham in a couple of minutes, just after introducing Mackem Cabby, who is currently on mute because I think there's stuff happening in the background. But hello, Cabby.
Fine. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Good, mate. Good, mate. Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah, happy New Year to you when it arrives soon enough. Of course, Australia have already had theirs.
Oh yeah. They're already in the future, aren't they? And we also have
Time travel exists.
the time traveling expert himself, Jacob Aviard. Welcome along, buddy.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year's Eve
Happy New
to
Year's.
everyone.
I guess. We have a comment from Dean in the chat saying just avoid the Cardiff game already. Do you want us to avoid all of the bad ones? Oh, it's working. It's working. Look. The chat's here. Boom. I'm loving it. There we go. Just don't say anything. We might need the mods in here. But we start off 2023 playing a game against Blackpool in how do we put our last part of last year? We Blackpool, Shrewsbury, Swansea, Borough, and Fulham were our January fixtures. We won just 2 of those games. That was Shrewsbury and Middlesbrough. We drew the other 2, Blackpool and Fulham. Fulham's a good result, if you ask me. But then we lost to Swansea. We always seem to struggle against Swansea, and I can't really put my finger on it. But January in review, what were you feeling at the start of 2023?
I was glad to beat Middlesbrough, I can tell you that. Swansea was that was just proper disappointing because if 09 didn't get sent off, could have possibly been a different game, but that was the ultimate kick in the teeth, in my opinion. And FA Cup, we had beating Shrewsbury, which should be beating them really, but we were 1-0 down, and then we ended up were it 2 late goals?
Yes.
I think it was just the winner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that was just a relief because I didn't want to be knocked out by a lower side.
Yeah.
And then we had Fulham, didn't we?
Which to be fair,
we took the lead. We took the lead in the Fulham game.
I think the FA Cup. I think January kind of patched over a lot of cracks. We were just on the teat of the playoffs at that point, but then we started to drop out. Ben, yes, we are going by month rather than game by game because there was a lot of games. So we'll do that. We also had a couple of surprises in there. In that FA Cup first round tie, we held our own against a Premier League opposition, and for me, although we lost to Swansea in that month, it was a nice time to support us. It felt like we were on the up and up. Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Clark?
Overall, yeah.
SFC ready for the New Year's? I think so. Nearly there.
We had the Blackpool game as well, didn't we? That was our first game of 2023.
I think that one was a little bit of a damp squib, though.
Yeah, I also remember that same day I fainted as well. A few hours after the match.
Yes. So
It was weird.
I don't know if you recall or not. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about your vinegar sandwiches, Cabby. No, thank you.
I think I'd rather have vinegar sandwiches than wear a Newcastle shirt or watch Newcastle. So
I mean, that's if Abdullah Boss scores 5 goals, but if we're being honest, that's not going to happen. That's in the wrong ear. That's why it feels weird. The overall theme, I think the main story for January was our transfers, and I don't know if you actually recall this or not, but we actually signed Isaac Lahaji in January. Do you guys remember him?
I've forgotten. Well,
No, because he's not here now.
He's a flash in the
we
pan.
sold him in August, didn't we? Didn't we sell him in August this year?
No, we sold him in June. So he came in, he played, I think, 7 or maybe 8 games for us.
No, come on, Pet. Come on, Pet.
And yeah, it didn't really materialise all that well for him, did it? We were talking about we were talking about Clark leaving because his what's it called, his contract was up at the end of the summer. That got extended. He's now with us until 2026. Same with Clark Roberts. Did we sign Ahmad at this point, or do we already have him in place? I can't remember with Ahmad. I think Ahmad was,
sure.
I think Ahmad was the full year, wasn't he? Ross Stewart came back from his injury. He was fit for the Middlesbrough game and then injured by the Fulham game. We hadn't seen
Still
him
injured now?
No, he's been back and got injured again, hasn't he? He's a glass slipper. But January was a topsy-turvy month. I think it's the typical average month for us, if we're being brutal about that. February was a little bit more condensed, if we look at it a little bit skeptically. A draw against Millwall, the replay against Fulham, where we beat them, where they beat us 3-2 in added time. I still think we held our own in that Premier League opposition, which gave us a lot of hope.
I was at that game.
I know. Rick scored in that one, didn't he? And it counted.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And he started kicking about late November, so he was fully in flight by that point. We then go on a pretty decent streak up until the Rotherham game. So this is where I know we played Rotherham on the weekend, but this is what we did. February 21st, we lost 2-1 at Rotherham United last season. So it's better than what we did last season, but it's still the same calendar year. The teams have drastically changed since then. We beat Reading, we beat QPR, where Will Farrell said we're going to drink some tears of sorrow. And then we lost to Coventry, so we lost to Rotherham and Coventry to basically collapse at the end of the month.
Drew with Bristol at home as well, didn't we?
Yeah, the 1-1. So, like I said, it was a bit of a good peak in that month. Like, we had a good run of results up until that Rotherham game. Yeah, I don't
Bit
really.
of a meh month. Just a bit meh, innit?
I think it was a bit too hot and flashy in the pan. Too much going on. Was that 7 fixtures in the space of 28 days? That's one every 3-4 days. That's yeah, just a bit rushed, shall we say? I can't really pick out a highlight performance. Maybe that QPR game where we won 3-0. We looked proper solid at that point. I don't know. It's just a bit of a weird one. Paul, you got any thoughts on Feb? Any standout games or results on there?
For me, it'll be the Reading game at home.
Why?
1-0.
It were a late winner, wasn't it? Wasn't it quite a late goal?
Yeah, it was by Paddy Roberts.
Westy, man. Westerhausen. Shout out to all the massive melts in Newcastle. FTM.
That Newcastle fan didn't know what belts meant, did he? He were an American Newcastle fan, I think.
Not a clue, but we've got our own little FTM badge here. Let's pop that on. March, should we go? We'll whistle stop them because I'm not really happy with March. I don't know if you were at all. It was the 5-1 defeat to Alex Neil's Stoke City. Absolute embarrassment of a performance that was. The Friendly Cup we retain in a 1-0 win. We lose to Sheffield United, but that was kind of on the cards. It was a free hit. A draw against Burnley, and a draw against Luton, and then a draw against Burnley. Highlight for me, probably that Stoke game. Even though we lost, it was the most memorable game of the lot. Just we know what we want and what we feel about the Snake Man himself. He's luckily out of that position already because he crumbled the following season. So, yeah.
I'd have Alex Neil back. I'd have Alex Neil rather than Ian Beale.
Really?
I would.
Michael Beale's better than Alex Neil, in my opinion.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, he does have like more variety to his tactics, but I think stability is a thing that we need in this club, rather than again that let's win 2 games, lose 4 in a row, or pick up 2 points in 4 games. Like it's just, I'd much rather us win, draw, win, draw, draw, win, win, win than all these losses that we've been having. So
I'll give
Kind of
Bill
like
to the new.
Blackburn. Bit like Blackburn last season, but just win, draw, win, draw.
yeah, pretty
Instead of
much.
win, loss, win, loss.
Yeah, I'd rather us pick up points in most games than, I know we're not. It's not likely that any team is just going to win every single game. We're not Leicester. We don't have 500 million. No, to be fair, their squad's probably worth 225 million, something around that, and the rest of the.
I'll give Bill till the new year, to be honest with you.
Mm.
He's not going to
I
fucking
just-
last long, is he?
It's just the way the squad he picked, man, the side he's picking, and it's like,
Does he know what he's doing?
no, I don't think he does.
Well, sometimes people have said he does come across like a Billy bullshitter. But
Probably, yeah. 0-0 at the Burnley game was a good gem to solidify the defensive trust after it was shattered by Stoke. We looked a lot more stable after that point. That's not a bad point there, Ben, to be fair. After the Sheffield United game, we didn't really falter to the end of the season. We creeped our way into the playoffs on the last day. So maybe that was it.
and we by the end of March we were in 11th.
So what does that say?
That's where we were.
Yeah, rumour up here is Morelos in the summer from Santos. I need to do a bit of digging into that then, because I've not seen. Can't say his name. Morelos. I've never seen his football. If you got a clip of like his football, Wesley, pop it in my WhatsApp. I'll check him out. Paul, stand-up performance in March.
In March. For me, it'd be the Luke. Burnley.
Burnley's
0-0.
0-0. Okay. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because obviously they absolutely slapped the league. Would you, if we have that exact same style of performance against Leicester in a couple of months' time, would you be happy with that 0-0?
Just bet.
Yeah, our boys will be hands.
Fair enough. Cabby?
Hello.
Hello. Standout performance for you in March?
I'll come back in a second, mate. I've just got to sort the daughter's iPad out. I'll get back to you 2 minutes.
No worries. Whilst we're waiting for Cabby to come back, then we'll move on to April, and he can catch up. So April was like I said, an absolute strange one. I don't think we lost a game in that month. We drew 4-4 to Hull City. Absolutely bizarre game. We beat Cardiff.
Yeah, you're right.
We
3 wins, 3 draws.
Yeah, we beat Birmingham City at the Stadium tonight. We drew to Huddersfield. We beat West Brom, and then we drew against Watford. Yeah, April was unbeaten.
Yeah, it was.
That's class. That's how we creeped into it, by the way. Just not losing games. Why can't we do that again? He played for Rangers under Bale. I'll have a check then. Well, if he's playing Scottish football or Morelos, not the same as it's not the same as the Championship, to be honest. But yeah, what was your standout performance, Cabby, for March and April?
March, it's got to be, like I say, for the wrong reasons, that Stoke City game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it was like I was expecting that, to be honest with you, because of that focused on beating Alex Neil, because calling him a snake, it seems to bite us in the backside every single time, doesn't it?
He's still a snake, though, mate. Like I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
Of course he is. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying the fact, like, it just seemed to make it worse, didn't it? The fact, like, it's Alex Neil.
I think we wound him up to the point where he was like, "Fuck it, this is my game of the season." Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is what it is. I think the high scoring games are generally standout ones because they're so like out of the blue. But I don't know why, but Dwight Gale all of a sudden was decent in that match. And I was like, yeah, odd. What about April? What's your standout game in April?
Just give us a recap what happened in April again.
Hull 4-4, Cardiff 1-0, Birmingham City 2-1, Huddersfield 1-1, West Brom 2-1, and Watford 2-2. 3 wins, 3 draws.
Yeah. Oof. My standout one was because it was on Sky. It was when we played Hull 4-4. It was just such a
End to end.
topsy-turvy game. Yeah, it was just mental, wasn't it? I mean, I think it was a bit of. Am I saying right? There was one of our was it 09 or someone that played a stupid foul or a handball or something that gave them a penalty in the last kick of the game.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Who was it? Who was it again? Because I was watching. I was thinking. I was on the phone to my mate saying this was going to be a good win against Hull. This and we give the ball away stupidly, and then they came forward. And I can't remember if we fouled someone in the box or it was a handball. Was it 09?
It was when we were wearing them red shorts. I think we have good games in red shorts. No, it was Elise. Agi Elise.
Oh, and he just chopped them down, didn't he?
Platters through them. Yeah, let me just quickly add this on. I think we already have it here, so I can pop it on very, very quickly. So this is the moment you're talking about. The ball is just cut in, and then Agi Elise just runs through the defender's leg. And it's like, what how are we supposed to counteract against something like that?
And that was like, wasn't that the 94th minute or something?
Yeah. 39. Pierre Equa. Sorry. I got my numbers mixed up. I thought Equa was 26. It was Equa. Thank you.
Because we had the ball deep in their half, and it was literally seconds left to go, and we just played a stupid pass, we gave the ball away. I don't know who it was that gave the ball away.
It got dropped. It got dropped for the next game, apparently.
And they just went straight to the other end, and you had this funny feeling because that type of game it was going to end up.
Yeah, it is Equa. I know it's like a bit random, but do you think the red shorts have have more entertaining games in them? Because the red shorts is for the charity, right? It's not a standard one. It was for the Foundation of Light charity. Every bit of profit in that match went to the Foundation of Light. I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I think we'll look better played in the red shorts. But that's just my opinion.
I think it looks like a more unified thing. I know we've got black in our badge in that, but I don't know. I like it. I know a lot of fans don't like it at all because it reminds you of the cottage homes. If you know, you know. Or if that might just be my family thing.
No. I used to get threatened as well if I was a naughty boy. I get sent to cottage homes.
But with the red shorts on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that was just a my family thing for a sec.
No.
Yeah. So, that unbeaten April helps Sunderland, by the way, go into the end of the season. 1 game left against Preston North End, nothing to lose and everything to gain with a absolutely slapping performance, a 3-0 win at Deepdale on the final game of the season. Absolutely bizarre as well, by the way, because Blackburn, all they needed to do, was it Blackburn or Millwall? I think it was Millwall. Millwall, all they needed to do was win. They were 3-1 up at halftime and ended up losing 4-3. So I've got the team right way around.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I was actually at that Preston game.
Mate, you seem to be at the games where it's pivotal.
I know. I bet the right games.
But was that the should this season have ended at that point for us? Because obviously we then go into the playoffs. We beat Luton Town 2-1 at the Stadium Light, but then we lose 2-1 at Kellenworth, and it's just that sliver of hope. I think we got found out at the semi-final second leg of where we were vulnerable, and we had been shouting about it all season. By the way, it was. We are poor at defending corners. We're poor at scoring corners, and we can't defend set pieces because we haven't got height in the box. So we took that to heart a little bit with our recruitment in the summer. But I was going to say, so what's your standout game in that choice of 3? I'll go from right to left. So Jacob, then Cabby, then Paul. What's your standout game of those 3?
So is this April, May?
This is May. We've
I
we've all said.
don't think I got.
Oh,
I
sorry.
didn't get the same. I don't. My April, March. I think for
April.
March, I'd say but March, I didn't say March as well.
Oh.
Burnley for March. April, I'd go with West Brom. And yeah, May, Preston away, just because of the atmosphere and where it got us to.
I can't believe I forgot you out there, mate. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Oh, let's all laugh at Arsenal. Let me know why, David. Okay, quickly explain those games though, mate. Why the obviously the Burnley one I think is self-explanatory. Drawing against the team that's basically at that point, I think they were like 4 points off automatic promotion. I guaranteed it, and we made them pick up just the one. Why the West Brom game? Because, like Kevin said, 4-4 is freak result. What was it about the Baggies game that?
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, but I think it's just because it got us ever so closer to where we ended up being come end of the season. But same it's away atmosphere as well. I think it was just the amount of fans we took down to that game was just amazing, and I think we played pretty good in that West Brom game.
I think we generally do though. Yeah, like we usually take good sets of fans down because it's just the right kind of place in the country where everybody can get to very easily. It's same with Birmingham City. It's like all you need to do is get one train and you're there, or like a 3-hour journey, depending on where you are. Being in the Midlands does help, like with being localized to the rest of the footballing world. So there's a lot of extra fans that are able to rock up, but most of them are just season ticket holders, anyways, aren't they?
Yeah.
Anyways, the April, May, the May game.
Yeah, Preston.
What is it? Just because it was the last final day of the season, no pressure, buzzing fans.
Yeah. And it was a good win in general.
Fair enough. Cool. Cabby?
Hello.
The game of May.
It's got to be the Preston one, eh?
Preston. When was that?
Sorry, did you say about just give us a recap again? Sorry.
Yeah. May was Preston 3-0. 2-1 at home against Luton, and then 2-0 loss against Luton in the semi-finals.
Yeah, it's for me. It's a Preston one because it was just a really, really good performance from Sunderland. The way we passed the ball around, the way we played them off the park, and the way the events turned out. The fact like it was out of our hands, and the way it swung from Millwall chucking it away, and right in front of the away fans as well. I thought it was really, really good to get into the playoffs, especially being our first season back in the Championship. And it's just the way we did it. I thought we just played superb. And it gave us like a lot of belief for the playoffs coming in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it was one of those ones where it's like you've just got everything going right for you. It felt like the right time, but at the end of the day, it didn't end up happening in terms of us getting back to the Prem, but it felt like if it was going to happen, it was going to happen then. You know what I mean? Give us that extra little bit of buzz, extra couple of % of what's it called, opportunity. Yeah, fair enough. Paul?
Well, you know I'm going to go with that because I was actually in attendance.
The same one, the 3-0.
I'm going to go for the Preston game. The atmosphere actually from the start. Actually, just before the referee blew the whistle, actually to start the game, I would say from the start all the way right to the end.
Just buzz it, like everybody bouncing from minute 1 to minute 90.
Even the players was crying at the whole time
because it was just like a bit of an absolute surprise, really, wasn't it? Like it was. I wasn't an out of the blue because I think Mowbray did a good job. Yeah,
because of what we went through in the past few years, wasn't it? Miserable League One, and
Well, it's just saying not all the players cried. It was just Tony Mowbray and Dan Neil.
It was some of the best football I've seen Sunderland play in a long, long time. And and there was 3 or 4 games on the trot we were like that. It was the 1-2 passing we were doing, and the quickness of it, just ripping defences to shreds. It was really nice, entertaining football to watch.
It just took us that little bit too long for us to find form. Sorry, my dog's just at my legs. But it's not as dodgy as it looks. It's not as dodgy as it looks. Come back from a dodgy penalty. We had half of our players out. Showed how had much matured since the whole game, despite such a young side. West Brom was a good display of character. I think the tail end of last season, under any other manager for us, Mick Beale, Alex Neil, whoever we've had in the past, I don't think would have happened without Mowbray there. So I think he needs to be commended for that. Do you think?
Agreed with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you agree, disagree? Because I know he's gone from the club now, but I genuinely think like without him, we wouldn't be in where we like the current expectancies or the current. We'd be where Rotherham are. If you look at where Rotherham are and where we are, we both came up at the same time. They survived last season. We were in the playoffs. It's just two polar opposites of how to perform. Oh, we could be where Wigan are, going up to go back down.
It's just everybody has the feeling now of like the Parkinson and the Simon Grayson days. It's just that's the enthusiasm with the fans at the moment. It's not good.
That's with Beale though. I think if you look at
Beale,
if you look at it overall, I think as a fan base, we're more looking towards the Premier League than League One again. If we're being brutal about it, I don't think we are looking at the bottom half of the table and going, we should be there. Mid-table, I think, is where some of our recent performances have been at, and we'll get into that in a bit. But the fact that we finished 6th last season, we are 7th now, roughly where we were at the same point last season at game 25. We're doing all right. Like, it's not pretty football anymore on the deal.
37 points in it that we're currently on.
And we're on 37 points at game 25 then as well.
The positions are starting to slip away though, aren't they? I mean, 1st and 2nd's been gone a while. 3rd's starting to disappear from us. 4th starting to disappear from us. We just need to keep
up with the Joneses.
In chase.
Yeah,
we do, yeah, because we're already 2 points behind Hull, and the last thing we need is 7 or 8 points behind Hull off the playoffs because it can soon happen.
Yes. Yeah, I have gone through everybody this time though for the end of last season. If we just look at from January through to the playoff semi-final loss, what is the standout player in that entire spell? And I'm going to go last because I've got multiple options. I know what one of them's going to be. I'll go with Cabby first. Who's your standout player for the tail end of last season?
Diallo.
There you go. Tick. Boom.
Mad Diallo, and that stands out with the that free kick he scored at the stadium, like. But fans loved him. But like he was just scoring, and he was just getting stronger and stronger as the season went on. And it's just frustrating that he was having to go. But definitely Diallo, I like, for me.
Fair enough. I think that's not a bad shout. Rob says, versus Preston, Pritchard came on at half-time and he changed the game. Ben's saying Ahmad, it has to be. I think a lot of you will say Ahmad. You are allowed to repeat choices if you really want to, but I've got multiple, and I'll not say Ahmad now. So, Jacob, who's your standout player for the tail end of last season?
Ahmad Diallo. That's my option.
I can't remember. What's his thing, by the way? It's like that, isn't it?
It's like he puts his one hand at the sidewards on his ear.
On his ear. And then one like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But if Diallo's watching this, probably won't. Please come back.
I mean, I think he only came on the pitch yesterday because they're looking to sell him and increase his value. Look, he's a Premier League player. He's got one on his stat. You know what I mean? I think that's why he came on.
Yeah.
More chance of sleeping with Mother Teresa than him coming back to Sunderland, tell you now.
I'm not 100%.
I won't agree with that, actually. I disagree.
I think he loves the club. I think he loved Mowbray, but he loves the club that little bit more.
He's not going to come back with a settle with Bale and that. Like, there's no chance in hell, is it?
Well, we don't know how long Beale's going to be here either, mate. I know he's got a contract at 26, but
If he came back, Beale will probably play him on the under-21 sides for 5 months.
Didn't say that.
Oh, by the way, at the end of our position at the end of December was 4th. We are currently 7th. So not great, is it?
I mean, it's not bad though. Like if you were set, there's at least we're in the top 25% of the teams. You look at it like
You don't think we're going a little bit backwards, Amp? We were in a higher position last season.
Yeah,
higher position last season than this season.
No,
we're going backwards as far as managers are concerned, or coaches, should I say? It's the board and that we seem to be going backwards with. I think the fans are starting to the relationship between the fans and say Speakman and KLD is going backwards and falling each as the weeks tick on.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just I think we're under current management. It's a little bit. I think we're all a little bit. We all feel like it's just that tad bit toxic, and it's like just getting through the horrible parts of your meal so you can get to your dessert. Is there a dessert there? And that dessert turning out to be, I don't know, Christmas pudding or something. It's just, ugh.
They're like a firework waiting to go off because virtually no one's happy with the appointment with Beale. They were disgusted with it. So anything that goes wrong on the pitch, it's like the fans are just instantly going to react. And heaven forbid if we have a horrible performance against Preston on New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Kieran's, I think, a mag in the chat, but we
that's a friend of mine.
Oh, why is he like backing up Newcastle? So
and Kieran actually supports Sunderland as well.
It just sounded like the mag the way it comes out. When does Sunderland play versus Newcastle? Newcastle is going to be best and going to win. I mean that game.
When was the last time? When was the last time Newcastle won a trophy? That's all I got to say.
1963.
I think it was.
But they won the league, didn't they? In the championship with that horrible yellow and.
I mean, we've won the championship 3 times, so we don't count them towards trophies, mate. I know it's like you get a trophy at the end of the season when we won. Or was it the Coca-Cola Championship at the time? And Stephen Lawrence and Marcus Stewart
Roy
and that
Keane's manager.
Yeah, it was just like, we got a trophy for winning the championship, but that's not a trophy on your cabinet. It's an accolade, I guess, but not winning.
No, but the money Newcastle spent and the squad compared to where we are, you'd expect anything but Newcastle to win, wouldn't you? You know, the pressure's all on them. It's a win-win for Sunderland. If they lose, they'll say, well, what can you do against £350 million worth of talent?
That's more than that, isn't it?
It's the FA Cup. It's the FA Cup, though, and you can get surprises.
I think we're definitely the underdogs, though, aren't we? We're definitely the underdogs.
Yeah, but Newcastle fans chirping up and saying, like, you know, oh, we're going to win this, we're going to smash them. I mean, I would expect them to. Anything but would be a disaster as far as them concerned.
Yeah.
But their away form is bad, though, isn't it, Newcastle? So
their form overall is just bad as well. I think they've lost 8 out of the last 11 games. Yeah.
I just hope they don't tank us like something like 6 or 7-0 at the Stadium Light, because I mean I know we're expected to lose, but I just hope it's not a spanking.
Well,
because we'll never hear the.
Yeah, you've got Liverpool next, right? I'd say they've got Liverpool next on tomorrow on January 1st.
Yeah, Monday.
If they lose that, they have to win. Otherwise, I think they'll either sack Eddie Howe against Liverpool if they lose another game, or they'll sack him after Sunderland. If he loses against Sunderland, or he does basically if he doesn't win, he's gone. So yeah, that would be 13. Was it 10 losses out of 13 games if he loses against Liverpool and us? Yeah, it'll be gone. To answer the question, though, Paul, what was your standout player from the tail end of last season? And then we'll go into the pre-seasons in June and July.
I was going to say Diallo, but I'm going to go Pritchard.
That's an interesting shout. Go on, explain. Why? Because he's class.
No, it's just, well, it's because of the goals he scored. You know, like, fair enough, he scored against Preston and all that, but yeah, every time he's come on the pitch, you know, he's actually helped the team. get a couple of more goals.
What's the tail end of last season as well, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, he's a solid choice. I think you're good in choosing him because I think he pretty much proved himself as a Sunderland player through and through when he played his former side, Huddersfield, and he scored the goal. And he just ran up to their... Rather than our fans, obviously he celebrated the goal, but he ran up to their fans and just went, what was that? What was that? And I think that kind of just disowning of the previous club, the ex-player curse that we seem to have a lot as well. Good shout. Really good shout in Pritchard. Like,
he got abuse off them down there.
Yeah, he did. So there is another player that I'm going to choose for that tail end of last season, and he's no longer with our club. Danny Bart. Danny Bart for us, I think, kept us in a lot of games. I think he's left the club purely because of his age. He doesn't fit the youth model. It was probably his last season that we could have earned a good profit on the resell. So, yeah, that's why I think he's gone. It's not because of his talent or his ability or his dedication to the club. It's purely because he didn't fit our current model. The replacement partnership, I'd really like Bath and Ballard as a centre back holding. The holding thing. We looked clean. We looked solid. We looked unbeatable with those two at the back. For the most part. But it wasn't to be. So we've got Luke O'Nien and Ballard now, and I think it's doing okay in most games. But yeah, Danny Bath. Has to be Danny Bath. With Dak injured again, will he be leaving in Jan or stay till the summer? So sorry, I'm just butchering this. Diamia? Sorry, I'm butchering your name. I know I've said it right in the past. Apologies. I'm not 100% with it. The Dak situation, nobody will buy him, so he's staying with us until the summer. Hopefully that answers your question there. We'll go into the pre-season now. It's a year in review, I guess. So we played South Shields, won. We played Gateshead and won. We played San Antonio and won. We played New Mexico and won. And we played North Carolina and won. And then our only real, I think, solid opposition was Real Mallorca, and we drew 1-1 at the Stadium of Light.
We lost to Hartlepool 5-2, didn't we?
Ah, that was in June, so it doesn't show the June ones. Or is that August? No, Hartlepool was August. Hartlepool was August. I'm on to June, July, mate. Onto the midsummer. Right. Yeah, but yeah, no. Then yeah, we start August with that 5-2 defeat. So we'll do the whole pre-season as a collective. How are we thinking about what's our standout game in that entire spell?
I might go with. I'm going to pick one of the USA ones. It's just because of the American commentators just getting some of the pronunciations just so wrong. Probably right. I'll go with San Antonio one.
San Antonio 3-1.
The commentators, man. Oh my god.
Oh, Hartlepool.
Hartlepool.
They got some players' names wrong, didn't they? Like they said it wrong, and it's just.
I just thought, as Jacob says, I thought the commentary was gay, and I said, "Oh, it's an outfield pass to the offence of Sunderland, and it's a field goal to the Black Cats."
Sunderland HC, man.
It was brilliant. I did enjoy it. It was so weird to listen to, but it was fun.
Apparently, for one of the games, there was a Sunderland fan saying on Instagram that I think it was a San Antonio fan, but it was one of the games in US. I believe it was San Antonio. He said there was a San Antonio fan dressed up as George Washington. He was drunk and he was giving proper abuse at the Sunderland fans.
I mean, which one had the mag at it? Was that the North Carolina one?
I don't know, but I know there was a Bouncy Castle one, you mentioned in the.
Oh, that was New Mexico. That was New Mexico. New Mexico had a Bouncy Castle on the corner of the stadium, and I was really disappointed because they took it down, and I was like, "What are you doing?" They took it down at half time because just after half time, I saw it slowly deflate, and I was like, "Oh no, what are we doing?" I just thought those 3 American games were comical.
Imagine an American pronouncing all English clubs from Premier League to League Two.
I mean,
all 92 clubs. Oh, that'd be funny.
There is people who try that.
God,
yeah,
an American
GB.
trying to pronounce Wycombe Wanderers, he'd say something like Wycombe.
Wycombe Wanderers, yes. GB,
Watford.
Happy New Year, by the way. He sent it, he's in Adelaide. It's 3 a.m. and he's a little bit inebriated. Come on, the Black Cats. All the other teams are going to lose. Rob's saying SAFC versus SFC. It was SAFC versus SFC.
San Antonio.
To be fair, I did like that one. That was, I don't know. Was that the one where Riggs scored at the start?
Yes, in the 15th minute.
Rissy Rig. I don't know. Is anybody going to call out the Hartlepool game?
No.
Nah, let's move on.
Well, that was embarrassing, but I know we put out a weaker squad because it was 4 days later we're actually playing our first league game. But we need to stop playing Hartlepool in pre-seasons. It doesn't help anybody involved. Normally, how many pre-season games do you think is the right amount? Because we played 7 this season. I think that's a lot more than normal. Anyone?
I believe so. We had
South Shields, Gateshead, San Antonio, New Mexico, North Carolina, Real Mallorca, and Hartlepool. New Year.
9.
9 is the right amount.
9.
No, I think 5. You don't. The only reason you have pre-season friendlies is to get your team gelling together. Now, with the Americas ones, Hamir Semedo came on, absolutely looked solid. We were all like getting really excited by him, and since then, he played 2 games in the league, and then nothing's happened because that confidence, that bit of, how do you put it, trust in him doing what he needs to do to like just enjoy himself playing football has been taken away from him. Now, is that because of the formation? Is that because of the pressure of actually picking up points in the league? I don't know. But if you look at the man that we saw in those friendly games versus what we're getting today, it's absolutely chalk and cheese. Yeah. Yeah. Paul, you didn't call out your standout game.
In pre-season, I'm gonna go Carolina.
That was the 4-2 one, wasn't it? Pitch black.
Yep.
The one with the Geordies in it.
Geordie bastards. Geordie bastards.
The thing is, though, like, you would never see, I'm saying never, never's a strong word. You're highly unlikely to ever see a Mackem, person wearing a Sunderland shirt, in the home end of the opposition team. Whereas we've seen it at least 4 times this season, notably front bloody row against Swansea. Happy New Year, Kieran. Happy New Year.
It's happened in general. And like I said, there was, when we played Birmingham at home last season.
Yep.
There was an Aston Villa fan sitting with the Sunderland fans. So an Aston Villa fan going to watch a Birmingham game. Not good, is it?
I mean, they're there to try and wind us up, I guess, and it works. It works, but it doesn't actually impact the result 9 times out of 10. It's just a bit like, what are you doing, you weirdo? Yeah, right. So, we have a couple of, between those pre-season friendlies and the actual start of the season, we have 5 games before we solidify our current squad. You have Sunderland Ipswich, where they beat us 2-1. Crewe, we draw 1-1, but they win on penalties. We lose to Preston North End, our next opposition, 2-1 at Deepdale. And then we beat Rotherham, and we draw against Coventry. So we pick up just 4 points in the league. Out of 5 games, out of 4 league games, 4 points, 4 games, a point per game. How are you feeling about that start of the season for us, that starting month? Keisha, well,
disappointing. Because I think we should have got something from the Stoke game, to be fair, at least. And Yeah, 3 points against Stoke and at least a point in Ipswich and Preston.
I think Ipswich get
And it would have been
yeah.
it would have been nice, by the way, to win that Crew game. But go on, I'm sorry.
No, it was that mentality. We were the better team, but we didn't end up being clinical enough. And we were already calling it out at Ipswich. We called it against Crew. We called it against Preston. And we thought we had it. We thought we had it. We were saying we need strikers. And by the time we finished the Rotherham game, we had everyone in. We had Rushan, he was still rumoured. We had Mienda. We had Pembele. We had Burstow in on loan from Chelsea for the Coventry game. So by the end of the month, we looked like we had our striker situation sorted. I mean, you're completely wrong there, Kieran, by the way. That is just an invalid fact. Crew Alexandria, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm kind of happy that we went out of that cup as early as we did because, well, it would have potentially added more crappy fixtures.
Pressure.
Yeah, and just fatigue. So, yeah, I'm glad we went out as early as we did on that. If you look at the last, I think it's 45 years of the Carabao Cup, nobody outside of the top division has won it. It's always been a Premier League or League Division 1 team, depending on which era you're looking at. It's very rare anybody outside of the top flight even gets to the finals. It's just a waste of time for most of them. The FA Cup is a little bit different. I think it's the mid-90s since the last time a non-Premier League team won the final. So it's been a while. Cabby. For August, 4 points in 4 games out of the Carabao Cup. What's your thoughts at that point?
It was quite frustrating because I remember the game that stands out for me was the Ipswich one at home. Really, really unlucky. It was a deflection from the guy that used to play for us, Broadhead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Twinkle legs.
Yeah, I thought we played really, really well, and it was like I was actually camping at the time, and I was watching it, and it was like, how on earth did we lose that scenario thing?
Cough, cough, referee.
Was it the referee though, mate?
Well, a bit of it. He made a shit decision on sending Hume off. I mean, I know he were already on a yellow, but it was that first yellow he gave for Hume. It's just not even a yellow, man.
And then straight away, it was a virtual carbon copy. It was a deflection goal. Then when Preston scored of us at Deepdale, it was virtually exactly the same type of goal. Preston scored. It was a shot deflection that went in, and I thought it was just a frustrating start.
Yeah.
Unlucky more than anything else.
Could I skip the next 5 months because it's exactly the same story, pretty much from now, from August to December. Every single game, I say it, with the exception of the Middlesbrough game, where we did actually deserve to lose. By the way, I think we were very poor in that. This Stoke game as well, maybe. They were the better team. They weren't quite the 5-1 team that we got beat by, but I think those 2 games aside, we were generally the better team against most of our oppositions, but yet still end up losing because the bottom half of the table park the bus.
That Stoke game was an annoying defeat. That made us angry. That Stoke game, that 1-0.
Well, we should have had a penalty towards the end, but referee, being an idiot, didn't give it. It just shows you lack of consistency with referees.
Yeah, I think August. I think August is at the start of it. Paul, do you want to go through your August? And I think we might summarise September, October, and November as the final moments of Tony Mowbray. What are you doing? Paul?
To be honest, I knew that Ipswich actually would have won us.
Really?
Well, can you not remember, Ants, when we spoke to I'm trying to think of his name. We had him on from Ipswich for Brad's channel.
Oh yeah. The fan, I can't remember his name now, but he was on an Ipswich Town podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling that, with them under Kieran McKenna, I had a feeling that Ipswich actually would have done it.
Yeah. I mean,
Crew, I wasn't actually happy that Crew actually beat us.
it was only on penalties, but I think longer term, it's probably the right thing for us at that moment.
Yeah, because I remember after that game, a lot of people was calling for Mowbray to go. After that,
I think it was mainly because of the Hartlepool game. Hartlepool game, that 5-2 defeat. We had a good, all right pre-season friendly, but when it actually come to it, we didn't keep clean sheet that entire spell. We hadn't kept a clean sheet up until the Coventry game. That's 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11 games in a row in the pre-season through to the Coventry game where we conceded in every single game. But defensively, we were very poor. Even though we didn't play that game.
Because to be honest, I remember actually coming out of the ground for that game. It actually took Mowbray a while to actually speak to the media. And I was, in case you'll actually back us up on this, and not just in the chat. I said to Keisha, is Mowbray gone? Because it actually took him a while to talk to the media. And apparently, at that time, Tony Mowbray was actually having a conversation with Christian Speakman.
Yeah, it's just
about the transfers.
Like you said, we needed more people in. We actually got, I think it was 7 players in. We got rid of Gooch for some reason. Don't understand that one. We got rid of Bath. No real reason why. And we got rid of Ross Stewart. Everybody else, I think, was already on the fringe or barely in our squad. And we got rid of Isaac Lahaji. I forgot about him again. We talked about him at the start of the season because we got him in Jan, didn't we?
Well, Lahaji went when we played. What is Hartlepool?
Hartlepool, yeah. He was in the. I'll back him up on this. Go on then. I think September was a decent month for us, Bo. Apart from the Cardiff result, we beat Southampton,
QPR.
we beat QPR, we beat Blackburn Rovers, and we beat Sheffield Wednesday. We only lost to Cardiff, and it felt like it was one of those games. They parked the bus and counted us once and got the goal, which is a theme for the next couple of months and under Tony Mowbray. Dominant, beautiful football. When it works really nice, and it's great to support. But when it doesn't, you need something to change into. And I think because we had such a good September, it kind of shot himself in the foot with that, didn't it? Go on.
Yeah, it was one of them things, wasn't it?
See, I think I'm going to ask the call-out game for that month as well. I'm going to say, obviously, Southampton. Completely out of the blue. It wasn't anything we were used to. Obviously, 4 points at that point. Conceding every game. Coventry was that 0-0. And, yeah, 2 back-to-back games without a goal in the back of the Sunderland net. It looked nice for once. Paul? Abby? Jacob?
Yeah.
What's your standout game? Standout moment of September?
Standout game. You know what? I'm going to go QPR.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Do tell. Pray tell. Why?
3-1 against QPR.
Jack
Colback got sent off.
I forget he even plays for them, you know.
I was actually at that game as well.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he is.
I believe so.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because Colback done that bad tackle on Job at the time.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is with that one. Just tell my doggy off. Jacob, what's your standout game?
Probably Southampton.
5-0. I think that's enough said on that one. We just slapped them right. It's simple as that.
Ekwa got a good goal in that game, didn't he? Can't remember which goal it was, but Ekwa scored a right beauty.
Because the dogs are starting to pester me now. Sorry about that, folks. Tabby, standout game in
Hello.
September.
Yeah, Southampton. Well, it was out. Am I right in saying that was a bank holiday we played them?
Saturday, the 2nd of September. No.
It wasn't. No.
Just
No,
after the transfer window was shut.
Oh, was it? No, it was just class when we were on the Sky, and how quickly we seemed to put the game to bed, and it just give you such a feel good feeling on that Saturday, and it was just the way they played, and the tricky. Who was it? Was it Bellingham again who did like the pirouette on the ball?
Bennett.
Was it Bennett who did that?
Jewison Bennett. He did 3 in a row and then passed it to, I think, Rig.
Yeah,
that was my standout moment for that game. The triple Solco, like, it was on ice,
Yeah.
and then he just releases like it's just a quality cross, and then the oil rig pops up with a header, and the stadium like roof just came off, and it just made you feel so good being a Sunderland fan after that performance against Southampton, who had just come back down as well. It was a great performance, that, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I think if we had them every week, we'd be feeling like Leicester fans at the moment. Unstoppable, like a defeat here and there, not that bothered about. But yeah, it's a shame that's not a weekly occurrence, and I don't think it likely will be under Beale. Here's a stat from September. I think you might all like. It was we managed to win 3 games in a row in 3 different kits. And that is a very rare feat for Sunderland. We beat Southampton, QPR, and Blackburn Rovers in a row in different kits. And I don't know why that's a standout stat, but I mean, it helped. Another standout stat for this part of this season is we've had 3 months on the bounce, September, October, and November, with huge international breaks in there. And it breaks up the season massively. I'd say October and November is the start of the downfall for Tony Mowbray. October, I think I'll plus to these 2 months together, and you can pick out a standout performance because there's not many. We beat Watford 2-0. We lost to the Smogs 4-0. We got beat by Stoke City at the Bet365. We lost to Leicester City in a game I think we actually performed really well. We beat Norwich City 3-1. We drew to Swansea City 0-0. We beat Birmingham City 3-1, which was class. Then international break. Losing to Plymouth Argyle, Huddersfield Town, and then picking up just a point against Millwall at the start of December. That is the end of Tony Mowbray's career. And I think it's because losing against 20th, 21st, and then 19th is just not good enough. So, standout game from October through to that Millwall game.
I have no idea, to be honest. I just
Go, pick one, mate.
out of them 3, are you saying
Sorry?
Plymouth? Are you saying Plymouth,
No,
Millwall?
no. From the start of October, so the 2-0 win against Watford through to the Millwall game. So you've got 9 fixtures to pick from. 10?
I might go with just Watford. I think Watford, actually. I'm going with the Watford game.
Oh, okay. Is that just because we beat them with a clean sheet?
Yeah, and we actually played pretty well in that game, so
I think,
yeah.
If you're asking me, the standout game where we performed and still lost is the Leicester City game. I think we did a really good job. We were in with a shout, and I think if we beat them, I think Tony Mowbray would still be in a job now. But I think the start of the end for me is that smoggy game. Losing 4-0 at the Stadium of Light, absolute shambolic performance. Hated everything about it. And then the final 3 games, the Plymouth, Huddersfield, and Millwall game, just the nail in the coffin. 1 point out of a possible 9 when you're expecting at least 7.
That Berra game was the case of the players just waving the white flag and giving up, which really annoyed me. Like,
is that what you're feeling like now under Beale, or is that just that one game?
that Berra game, that was just a Berra game. I was on about where
Yeah.
the give up attitude, not give a damn about the full house that was at the stadium at the time.
That game as well, like, I know we give up. We definitely give up, and I 100% agree to it, but we went in half-time 0-0. It's Dan Neil getting his second yellow for telling the ref that's not a effing foul. For me,
It's not abuse, is it? People say no, it shouldn't be. That's not abuse.
it's absolutely not abuse, but that is the catalyst for us just going, what is the point with referees in this league?
It wasn't good though, as well as the bad performance. Ref was shit.
It was. Cabby? Yeah, he absolutely was. He absolutely was, Jacob. Is that why? Is it because we give up after Daniel got red card, or do you think we just give up all in all?
Well, yeah, it was just the way we collapsed. Our shoulders went down. It was like, as you said, it was like, what is the point? Attitude sort of thing. Because Middlesbrough weren't all that. To be quite honest with you, we made them look like bloody Barcelona the last 35-40 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of feeling sorry for ourselves, sort of in a way. It's like, well, what is the point? What is the point? We can't do anything with this Cheba referee. What can we do?
Exactly that. I think Elliot sums it up so well. So many good memories of this year, and now we're not so good. I'm paraphrasing there. Where are you going? And Roberto, tomorrow the game goes live here in Brazil. I mean, we've got the Preston North End game to look forward to tomorrow, but we'll add on final part of it, and then we're into December. We're into our current period. Paul, from Watford's game through to Millwall, what's your standout moment in that?
I'm going to go Norwich.
Well, we actually win a game. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we actually win 3-1.
I was trying to think of the best question around that, but it kind of felt like that was the potential point for Mowbray to go, look, I know what I'm doing, we're confident, but it just felt like it was a flash in a pan moment. Because the very next game we don't pick up anything really, do we? We pick up a 0-0 draw against Swansea. Like, can you carry the momentum, please? So, what's your standout moment of that 3-1 Norwich game then?
For me, it'll probably be
Dan Neil's goal.
Yeah, Dan Neil's goal straight away.
Let's get. I'm putting the answer into your mouth there, but like, yeah, it's just a weird spell of time that, like, we looked so good in that game, and then the very next game it was like, what are we doing? How do we struggle? I'm just looking at the formation of that Norwich game, by the way. Guess what? We started with a striker. Very next game we don't. Struggle. The very next game after that, we do. We don't. It's just like,
oh my god.
Every game we've struggled in that period is we haven't put a striker on from minute one. It's so blatant. It's so obvious. And that leads us up to now, I guess. We've got the West Brom game, the Leeds United game, and the Bristol City game under Dodds. So
Dodsy.
The Doddsy era. I think there's a lot of fans that were very happy with how Dodds managed to like pull the team together and actually get anything against West Brom and Leeds. when we're not expecting it, we were like, "Where's our next win coming from?" We just couldn't find it. So I think Dodds pleasantly surprised us with 6 out of 9 points. Do you agree? Disagree? What are you feeling?
Yeah, I agree with that actually. To be honest, actually, the standout performance for me under Doddsy, I'm gonna have to say Leeds.
The clean sheet.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm on par with that, man. They were, I think they were third at the time.
Leeds.
Yeah, they've only been leapfrogged recently because Southampton haven't. They've picked Southampton have dropped just 2 points in the last 5 games. So yeah, at the time I think they were third. They were on the heels of Ipswich, and now it's Southampton's turn. So yeah, point against a team that's pushing for automatics. Brilliant, really, really, really good.
Yeah, I do agree. I agree with that. I'd say Leeds is the best game underdogs.
Gabby,
Hello.
the Dodds 3 games just before Crimbo.
Yeah, to me, it's definitely Leeds United because I thought that was going to be a solid game. But I just thought Sunderland from start to finish, all over the park, was solid. They were organised. They were positioned perfectly. They just floors Leeds out, and it was just really, really nice to see. Because Leeds were pretty much on form, and we didn't really give them a look in, even though it wasn't a high-scoring game. I thought Sunderland really managed it well, especially because that was straight after we beat West Brom, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Well, Dodds was under West Brom as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same score as 1973, wasn't it?
yes, and yeah. I think there was the strange thing was obviously Beale comes in between the 16th and the 23rd, just before Christmas. You think new manager bounce, new everything, but losing 1-0 against Bristol City and then losing 3-0 against Coventry, the exact same issues persisted. No striker, no creativity, flat formation. We were just embarrassing just before Christmas. So I think that the fans who mentioned keeping Dodds on, if we're just going to continue with what we've got, I think they're semi-justified. I know we're only 3 games after that point now, but he picked up 6 points in 3 games, whereas if you compare it to Dodds, he's lost that 3-0 game, absolutely horrific. We beat Hull by the skin of our teeth, Clark rescues it, and Rotherham, we pick up a point, Clark rescues it. We're heavily reliant on Clark, and it's nothing to do with how... I think it's genuinely nothing to do with how Beale's setting our team up. That's why I think a lot of fans are still concerned.
I think it's really worrying that the fact that we're heavily relying on that one player. Because, like I say, if he gets injured or he's away,
Oh, he's sold.
we're tattled from.
Yeah.
We'll start sliding down that table.
Yeah.
Quicker than Winnie Mandela would slide down Nelson's column. It's just.
Yep. Okay.
It's bad. It's bad how reliant we are on it, and it's got to stop.
I'll rephrase the question and I'll angle it towards the predictions because Peter's asked, by the way. Me, 100%, Dodge should have finished the season. So he's basically on par with that. 6 points in 3 games versus 4 in 3. You can directly compete those two. Dodge, if we haven't got if Beale wasn't our first choice, he shouldn't have been any of our choices, if that makes sense to you. Like, if we wanted Will Still and we didn't get him, if we wanted the guy from Plymouth who went to Stoke, yeah, Schumacher. I was going to say Heisenberg, but that's Breaking Bad. I know it's a German name. If they were our options and we couldn't get them because of cash, or willing to throw the cash at a new head coach, then Beale is, I don't know, he still needs to prove himself as the best option. And I think that's the mentality that everybody's going into. So, predictions for the Preston game tomorrow. Paul first.
Well, to be honest, I saw a tweet. I was telling Acacia earlier. I saw a tweet actually from a Preston fan, and they actually are worried for this game tomorrow. Because they said, actually, if we play a striker against them, we will actually win it.
I mean, Preston have got one of the worst defences in this league. So you'd think if we put the ball in the box, they are going to struggle. But the same could be said about Rotherham. And they managed to hold their own with Park the Bus. If we're not putting the ball in the middle, we struggle. So, yeah, I 100% agree. But what's your prediction, mate? What is your... what's your numbers?
I'm going to say we'll turn it around and we're going to win this 2-1.
2-1. Okay. I'd like to see a clean sheet, but okay, 2-1. Cabby?
And I'm going to say Bale is going to start Russian.
That is a big claim. I like that. Again, starting strikers. If we're starting strikers, I think we can win quite clearly. But I'll let Cabby go, Jacob go, then I'll go with my prediction as well. It's crazy, man. I hate Leeds, and I want to get more than. I mean, go for my goals or keep the points. I'd rather keep the points, okay, sure, against that Leeds game. But yes, Cabby, prediction, and I'll catch up on chat after Jacob's gone.
A very poor strike force in Sunderland and a very poor defence against Preston. I'm going to say 0-0.
Okay.
First time Cabby's not predicted a Sunderland loss. Usually he'll say things like 3-0 Preston or...
I'm being optimistic here.
0-0 draws optimistic. Okay. I understand it now. Jacob, what's your prediction, mate?
Same as Paul, 2-1 Sunderland.
Okay.
Would you be happy with a point, Jacob, though, if we did get a draw?
Presents are fairly... I mean, I know Preston are defensively bad, but overall as a team, they're fairly... I think they're good. So I'd take it, but I prefer a win. What about you, Cabby? Would you be happy with a point?
How far from it, no. But it depends if we're 1-0 down in the 95th minute, then yeah.
So if it's a repeat of the Rotherham game, you'd be happy with a point?
Sort of.
What about you, Tim?
Yeah.
In the middle between sad.
Yeah. So I think if we change our formation and we have two strikers up front, just like Adam said, if Hamia and Rushin up front and we win 3-0, I think that is highly likely to score. If we put 4-4-2 or a 4-3-1-2, whatever you want to call it, like whatever formation works, as long as there's two strikers on the pitch, we will score goals. It's that simple. But I don't think we'll do that. I think we'll keep our current formation. We'll start Bar for some reason. Roberts looks like he's still out with his hammy. He's got to get a week basically to recover from hamstring pulls. Nothing more than that with him. So we're struggling with options down the right hand wing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a forced change that we need to do. I'm still optimistic. I'm just going to go for a very tight 1-0 win. I'll be happy with a 1-0 win. Roberto saying 2-0 Sunderland. That'd be class as well. But for me, ultimately, it's about how well we defend.
That could be a new thing.
What?
Would you be happy with a 1-0 win? Say that instead of would you be happy with a point?
Would you be happy with 3 points? Yes, of course.
Would you be happy with 1-0?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the opposition normally, doesn't it? Like if you're saying a 1-0 win against Leeds United, buzzing. 1-0 win against Rotherham, not really. It depends. It depends who we're playing against in their current form. Rob says, Dodds is clearly still having a big influence on the starting 11. That's interesting. We're still using Hume as an inverted fullback where Beale likes full wide backs. We don't have a system for full wide backs at the moment. So if that is a start to change with transfers coming in, again, I'm going to be slightly optimistic with that. Acacia says, sorry, go on.
That I agree with, because apparently seen somewhere Speakman said that Dodds is the one that's actually picking the team.
He's not allowed to do that, though, is he?
He's allowed to suggest it. Dodds is the assistant manager. Is he assistant head coach? Yes, he is allowed to suggest it. He just doesn't. He's not allowed to sign it. So you can delegate the assignment to everybody who has coaching badges. So Beale has to put his signature on the team sheet to the FA, so he can do it. Beale has to sign it. So Beale has to say, yes, that's my choice too. I think Beale is taking a lot of suggestion from Dodds. I don't know if he's picking the full team yet, but we need a change, and that was the whole point of getting rid of Mowbray. We need to change to be consistent, be solid, and be a threat going forward. Defensively, if we keep it as we have been over the last couple of weeks, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be challenging for 4th or 5th, but yeah, it is what it is. I want to win, but thinking we will lose, and so the fans will turn on Beale. I think the fans are not already on Beale's side though. On that one, Adam, I think. Yeah.
I mean, look, the win we did get under Bale still wasn't convincing, was it?
Oh no, it was completely out of the blue. It was Clark doing what he does best, rather than tactically we doing what we need to do. So, and again, same with Rotherham. We kind of scraped a point because Clark was he tried a half volley. He just went, I'll have a shot now. It wasn't because
it's just every Sunderland fan can see it every single time. Sunderland are going forward. It's just a one-trick pony option. It's just it's too predictable. The opposition can read exactly what we're doing. And you mentioned it before when Birdstore came on against Rotherham. It brought up a whole lot of problems for Rotherham. They couldn't seem to cope as well. You know, the answer's there. It's a case of doing it.
It's the basics, yeah. And we've got the quality in our team. We've got our players are quality. They just need to be given the right instruction. And I think that's the problem. We're not giving them the right instruction.
Every time Clark had the ball and he was cutting in, he had 5 or 6 players around him. He's not going to be able to do his trademark thing. Now, against the good teams, the bigger teams, he's got more space because the other team comes to counter-attack more. And I think it suits the likes of Clark and maybe Roberts on the other side of the wing. But when you play in these Sunday League scrappy, not pretty teams, the likes of your Huddersfields and your Plymouths, etc., and your Rotherhams and stuff, it is not the option to keep relying on Clark and that, because every time he had that ball, there was 5 or 6 defenders around him. There was nowhere for him to go.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the guy's name, but there's only one defender in this league I've seen like actually challenging him, man to man. Like everybody else is like 2 or 3 to him, and I think it's the guy who looks like David Luiz for Leicester. What was his name?
Oh, the curly hair.
Yeah,
he actually gave the. He should have given Sunderland a penalty.
Yes, that guy. But he was man for man with Clark the majority of the time. He's the only one I can remember who had Clark's number. Everybody else has to double or triple man up on him because he's a known threat to heavy opposition. But with the Rotherham game, the last game that we played, it was all on Clark on the left wing because Roberts got injured in the 15th, 16th minute, around that point, and Barr was on. Barr's not a right winger. He's not able to do the same job that Roberts does, sorry. So I think it was kind of like our only option is Clark down the left-hand side. So FaZe, thank you. Rob with the clutch, thank you. It's FaZe. FaZe for Luton. For Leicester. Right. Ahmad getting back, says Adam. All the best to you and the lads. I'm going to just ignore that last bit and just say it's for everybody who's a Mackem. Pennywell Pundit says, and Benshaw 9 and Bar. Start Pritchard. It's simple. Right. Well, we'll wrap up that year with a solid, how do you rate 2023 out of 10? We'll go with Jacob first.
7.
A 7 out of 10 season? Okay. Is that because we finished 6th? We finished in playoffs.
Along with other stuff as well. I won't say full on 10 out of 10, but predominantly it's been good. I mean, towards the end we've had some shaky results, but Sunderland through and through. Things will get better. It's just got to be patient, and I'm sure we'll let's hope for a good 2024. Away the lads in FTM.
Well put, mate. Well put. Cabby, what are you saying, buddy? Rate your performance, or rate Sunderland's performance over the entire year out of 10.
I'm going to go the same as I'm going to go a little bit higher than Jake. I'm going to go 7.5. Hasn't been good, hasn't been bad, but every time I look at the league table, we're only 2 points off 6. We could have. Look where we've just come from. How many years we spent in League One, and we're more than holding. Yeah, we're more than holding our own in the Championship at this present moment. So it is not that all. It's not all. It's. We just. I think Sunderland probably were too eager maybe to like. We should be Premier League. We should be Premier League. It's like look where we've come from, where we're sitting at the minute. I don't think it's that bad to be quite honest with you.
Seven from 37 points. It's not bad, is it? And I can't see us finishing bottom half of the table or going down. No chance.
Well, the bottom half of the table is quite close on points, though, mate. But yeah, Adam French is saying 4 out of 10. 10 losses is just not good enough. I mean, that's towards the tail end. You're forgetting the first half of the season that we've chatted in depth about today. I think we had. It's like if you do an overall balance, I'll come to yours after I've just said mine because Adam's got me on a little bit of a tangent now. I think overall, if you're looking at the entire year, I'd say it's probably a 6 out of 10. The tail end, the start of the year, really poor up until mid-March. March through to the end of the season, absolutely solid 10 out of 10. We dominated that especially April. Unbeaten in April, for me, is a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect month. It's not perfect wins, but it's pretty much up there. Getting into the semi-finals, losing to the new Premier League team, being a promoted team, absolutely quality. I'd say that's probably like an 8. But if you balance it into the second half of the season, this new part, we're 7th, we're just outside the playoffs. It's not like 2 or 3 out of 10. I think that's a little bit pessimistic. We've had an okay time, August, average in September, average in October, poor in November, and December has just been the rocky roller coaster. So yeah, I think like 6.5 is the fairest across everything we've done this year. For me, in anyways. Now, Paul, what's your number out of 10?
I'm going to give it a 7.
I think we're consistently across the board here. 6, 7, 7, and 7.5. Why do you say 7 though?
No, we just we've done well this season, found up under different managers, but let's see what the second half of the season brings.
Okay, and to tail on to that question for you, I want you to quickly think. But Acacia says 8 out of 10. We've had an alright season, just like Jacob said. Coach was a technical assistant here at Sao Paulo FC. I mean, does that count as experience? Lads, we need to get some experienced players into the team. No, absolutely. My question is, how do we get that rating that you just got up to 10 out of 10? Now, I've dropped it so low. 1, I think we need to potentially, this is so early saying it, but for 2023, if I'm saying December 31st, 2024, Mick Beale's still in charge and we've had the perfect season, I'll be gobsmacked. I just don't think that's happening. We could potentially change manager once or twice between that point. So if Mick Beale's still in charge come the end of this time, like in 12 months' time, that for me is perfect. We've kept with the man and he's performed the way we want him to. We need to have strikers performing on the pitch. Defensively, we need to be more consistent and keep a lot more clean sheets. Anthony Patterson needs to command his box a lot more. And we need to have more than just our standard 4-2-3-1. So there's 5 big areas of improvement that we can definitely do. But there's areas to improve. We're not on the massive descendancy, so I think we're good, but we need to get it up. So yeah, how do you bridge your gap, Paul, from 7 to 10?
For me, it always depends what we're doing in the transfer window.
Okay, so how do we do that? That's for this half of the season, though. But yeah, who do we need? What do we need?
Strikers.
We've got 4. We've got 4. Do we need to sell the ones we've got?
Thing is, I was talking to Bowes on this. I was talking to Bowes about this on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not think the club will cut Burstow's loan short, send him back to Chelsea and bring in another one.
So there is that option. There's always that option because you just got to look at what Ellis Sims had done to him last season. Everton recalled him and put us in the crapper for that January spell. But there's penalties if we do the recall rather than the other way around. I don't think Chelsea are going to recall Burstow, whereas we could send him back if we need the numbers for the new striker coming in, because our squad is limited to a maximum of 28 players. If you have more than 28 players, the people who are loanee are going back because they're not our full-time employees. So it's very big news when somebody comes from like an under-23 side into the first team fold, i.e. like Dan Neil or Rig. Having them come into the first team squad is huge news, and it does take up that extra slot for recruitment. So yes, it is possible. It is possible, but we'd have to pay fees to that. So not only do we have to pay the transfer fees for whoever comes in to replace them, but we also pay fees for sending them back. So yes, it's an option. But there's money involved, and when there's money involved, PLD generally is very reluctant to say yes.
I actually think we'll bring probably another midfielder. I know Michael Beale said this week that he's not looking for somebody to replace Huggins, which I'm really surprised.
I'm not, because I think if we go back to a 3-5-2, 4 semestral, but we went well. Well, okay, it went well. I mean, fair enough. Happy New Year, Roberto. It doesn't surprise me because the way Beale likes to play, it is traditionally the 4-3-3 attacking, the good old PSG style of play. So Clark and Roberts will excel in that, with one striker up front, but the front three are seen as our goal scoring routes. So yeah, having less midfielders doesn't surprise me that much. Catching a bit, Roberto. Thank you very much. I'm fidgeting now. Does that answer your question, Paul?
Yeah, it does, mate.
Do you feel Huggins needs to be replaced? I know he's got his knee thing, but
so the way I'm coming from, though, Huggins could be he's had a scan. The club's just waiting to hear back, but
he'll need surgery. He'll need a knee replacement surgery.
I think Huggins is out for the season.
Yeah. It's a
fair enough. We've got Pembele. We've got Pembele there as well. Alessi as well, but
they've been injured for a while as well. Yeah, I get your point. So we replace one injured player with a person who's come back from injury. It's not ideal. Nobody at peak physical fitness, but we can get them there.
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah,
things can only get better.
Come on, Flamengo, says GB. Are you still here? I'm surprised you don't absolutely slaughtered GB. Right, how do you get your 7? Was it 7.5? Sorry, Jacob. No, it was 7 for you, and it was 7.5 for Gabby. How do you get 7 to 10?
Do what you have more wins and draws. To be honest,
Like that.
I'm not saying go promoted, but and also start strikers and maybe more threatening formation like 4-4-2. I just want to be a threatening side in general, where teams go, "Oh, we've got Sunderland coming up. Let's at least get a point."
Yeah.
Which I think we still are a bit, but I want, I just want it even more. That's all. So
yeah,
I still think we'll be top half at Championship this season. I don't think we'll fall bottom half. I think we're maybe just outside the playoffs, because I think it is a harder season, but we've got this. I know we can do it. So just keep pushing for more wins, and then
Are we half writing off this season though? As a playoff only is our highest hope?
I don't know. I do think some fans have written it off already, haven't they?
Oh yeah, I wrote it off when we lost 4-0 at the Borough. Genuinely, I wrote it off as like the top 2. Playoffs is still on the cards. My hope is still with the playoffs, but automatics with that 4-0 loss, it was just the case in point of it's not our year.
And look where Borough are now. Borough are just shit.
Well, actually, they're not. They're 3 points behind us, but yeah. And in ninth. Rob says he does need surgery on Huggins. Club confirmed it already. He'll probably be out for a year. It's anywhere between 6 and 9 months after surgery for him to even start his physio. But if he's a sports person, he'll be given dedicated physio to that. So that's all right. We need left back. I don't think we do. I think we could revert to 3 at the back. And go for like a 3-5-2. That would help us too, because we have a lot, and I mean a lot of midfielders in our stack.
All 9 can play left back.
9 can play wherever he's told. That's a benefit. That's a benefit of having all 9. In terms of
Luke 9 as a goalkeeper. You could have Luke 9 as a goalkeeper. He'd do it.
I mean, you could literally put what's one of them megaphone. Like, is a megaphone? You could put like a speaker on not Pritchard's. On Patterson's mouth, and Law 9 could just literally command the box for him. It could be like a RoboCop kind of thing. I think Patton needs to just strengthen up and command his box a little bit more as well. He'd make some worldy saves, but yeah. There's my stats, by the way. It's a different layout. As you can see, I'm ready for the game tomorrow. Surely we need players. Change the players and start new ones. What about Jury and the other players not in Barbar? And the same ones. Give other ones a chance. Our players have written it off. Surely the board, no big changes are needed. We need the big name to motivate the rest of the team. I mean, do we need a named catalyst striker for the rest of the season? And I'll ask this to Cabby and Cabby alone. Yaman Villa as our replacement big name coming back. Would you say that's a good move? Because I know he says he'd come for cheap.
No, I just think it'll be a Jermaine Defoe thing all over again. I think he's too old, too over the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that at all. No, good player this time. I mean, Craig, how many years older is he now? And last thing I want is we Philly going out printing more T-shirts, isn't it?
He's my age, mate. So yeah, you wouldn't want me playing for Sunderland.
No. I think it's a bad move, that.
What about the other big name I've seen people throw around is Stansfield.
I've not seen much about
that. He's rumoured with, so he's currently with Fulham. He's rumoured with Ipswich, Sunderland, and Birmingham City.
He'll go.
How old is
he? He is 21, and he's a striker, and he's scoring. He's went to Birmingham. He's at Birmingham City this season, and he scored 7 goals in the Championship.
It's 2 things, and it depends on what wages is getting paid and what ambition he wants.
He's a Premier League player in Fulham on paper. He's only played 5 games, and he's out on loan to Birmingham City. So he's in the market. He's scoring in this league. He's a big-ish name. Like everybody in the Championship knows him. Maybe not in the Premier League, but in the Championship, people know who he is. Would that give him the confidence?
He'd rather go at the likes of a Leicester, Ipswich or something, though, wouldn't he? Or maybe he's a Leeds or Southampton. But a team that going to have more of a chance of...
He's more likely to go to Ipswich. But there's an option, there's a name, and there's a striker. It hits all the boxes that we need. But also, even if we get him in, with our current style, we're not starting him. So it's like... We can talk all about like getting a new striker in, but we need to have a system that a new striker can walk into.
For weeks and weeks on end, the headlines on social media was like, Russian, we're just waiting for everybody was eager. When's this Russian going to start? But he either simply just isn't good enough why he's not getting a start. That's the only thing I can suggest.
I think it's a language barrier. That's it. It's not his quality. It's his language. He can't understand the nuance of direction because he doesn't speak English that well. I mean, he's learning, but it's still broken at the moment. I want us to go up, but we will come straight back down. If we're ready, we really need more experienced players and get a real manager. We need to change our entire...
How hard is it for him to learn the language? To like stick 2 fingers up at the Newcastle end when he puts 3 past them in the FA?
It's pretty difficult. Can you as your 2024 resolution learn a language? How about you learn Portuguese? Replace Dodds. It's not as easy as it said, especially when I think like the ability to learn a new language, but once you pass the age of like 8, I think becomes more and more difficult.
Surely you do these things before you go for these players. Then, if you think it's
Mhm.
too much of a hassle to,
Mhm.
there's a language barrier, didn't it go for them? You have got the time to look elsewhere or back off and go for a better option.
Mhm.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
Right. I'm going to ask one last big question. Obviously, we've split it up between 2 parts. Obviously, we'll do another one of these this time next year. But for the end of this 23-24 season, where is the highest you think Sunderland will finish? Where's the lowest you'll think will finish? And where is realistically where you'll think we'll finish this season? Basically, league position.
Who are you asking first?
You, because you've spoken first. Go for it, Gabby, mate.
So, where would I like us to finish?
No, where's the highest you think we can finish?
That's a tricky one. It depends what we do in the transfer window.
Mm-hmm.
At this current squad, I think you're looking at just outside the playoffs because
The
we seem to be
highest.
set up. Eh?
So the highest place you think we can finish, the lowest, and where's realistic?
The highest with this current squad at the moment, I would say is about 8th, 7th or 8th.
Okay.
We beat the top teams, but the letdown is not being able to put the poor teams to bed in this league. That's what's letting us down.
Yeah. Lowest?
The lowest, I'm going to say around about just below mid-table.
Do you think, where's that? 15, 14, 13, 12?
About 12th, I'd say. 13th to 12th, 13th.
So you're thinking we're going to finish anywhere between 8th and 12th this season? 8th and 13th?
With our current setup, yeah. Because we're not being to challenge for the top 6. You've got to be at least put some of these poorer teams to bed, and we're not doing it at the minute, and that's our downfall. So if it carries on the way we're going, then we will not even get the playoffs this season.
Yeah, I'll add Adams in here. That's crap. We've got to get an interpreter, and the coaches don't rate him. I mean, I don't know. Interpreters cost money, and he might not be interpreting what has been said correctly. But then also 6th is the highest for Adam, and mid-table, but realistic, he says 15th. I think that's really, really low based on what we've seen so far this season. Paul, where's the highest you think we can finish? Lowest and realistic?
Highest. Oh. With the games we've got coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I would say in the playoffs, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So whereabouts? Give me a number. Give me a position. Elliot says if no changes, we're finishing 14th or 15th.
Number, I'm going to say 5th.
Okay, highest is 5th. Lowest is...
I'll say where we are now.
7th. The lowest will finish as 7th.
Yeah, I think we will.
Okay, and I'm going to use this in the future, mate. And realistically, where do you think we'll finish?
Playoffs.
So we say in the middle of what you've just said, 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. God, that's an optimistic fan. I like to hear it. But I think our range is a little bit more than 5th to 7th, especially with 21 games in it and 6 points between us and 15th. But yeah, Jacob, highest,
Yes, sir.
lowest, and realistic.
Highest, I'll go for 4th.
Yeah.
Lowest, I won't go for 15th or 14th. I don't think we're that bad. Maybe 10th.
Okay.
Realistic, where we are now.
7th.
7th.
Just outside the playoffs. I think you're the closest to what I was going to say, Jacob. I think highest, we can match Hull, we can match West Brom, and we could potentially catch either Leeds or Southampton. So I'm going to say 4th is the highest we could finish based on current squad and ability. Lowest, I think, is going to be where not West Brom, where Blackburn Rovers are in 15th. The league's that tight this season. I think everybody Millwall down is going to be below us at the end of the season, unless one of them has an absolute turnaround. And let's face it, none of them are likely to, because some of them are without managers, some of them are getting rid of players in this window, and they're drawing or losing most of their games. So yeah, highest 4th, lowest 15th, and realistically 8th. So yeah, just one place below where we are. I think we'll miss out probably 2 weeks before the end of the season as well.
In dramatic fashion.
In typical Sunderland fashion, to be fair, you've got to remember our last 3 games are Millwall, Watford, and Sheffield Wednesday. We should be beating Sheffield Wednesday, so that should cement us the 3 points. But I think we'll probably lose it by the time we play Millwall.
Yeah. But it'd be a good way to end on a high, though, and it beat Sheffield Wednesday and just,
Go into next season with our problems solved, and we have every player that we want and position already identified. and the team starting to make the hedgerows. I think it's going to be a good 2024. I've just got really good feelings about it. It might not be our season to go up this season, but I think next year, the start of next campaign, it's our push.
know.
It's our push season for 24-25.
I think 4 seasons in the Championship. I go with 4.
I'm going to say 3. I think 3's fine, and mainly because of the 3 teams that are coming down next season, likely to be Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United, with only 2 years of parachute payments between them. They'll either have to heavily invest and fail, or go back up again to yo-yo. And I can only really see Burnley yo-yoing and the other 2 crumbling. So I think next year might be our year. We're competing with 3 ex-Premier League solid state teams. So yeah, I think that's it. Acacia says 7th or 6th for me, so just either outside or inside the playoffs. And for the profit, I mean, I'll try my best. It's just what I'm seeing. I'll give a 10 out of 10. If we beat the Mags in the cup, I won't care about the league. FTM. I think that's a perfect bit to end on. Wow. This is a long podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one. Until 2024. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.